I'm Tiffany.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Mason.
And we did our project on prosocial behavior.
So we know that antisocial behavior is bad behavior which negatively impacts people. So prosocial behavior is the exact opposite of that. It's also known as helping behavior. And some examples of it include doing volunteer work, standing up to a bully, or even sacrificing your life for others.
So there are three perspectives that we're going to discuss that relate to prosocial behavior. So the first one is biological perspective. So the biological perspective is a way of thinking that has to do with physical causes. So biological psychologists would say that altruism and prosocial behavior have to do with innate traits that we have, that we're born with. So for example, if someone is more outgoing than others, they're more likely to do good things rather than someone who's shy and won't be more likely to do good things. Also, moms and women have a maternal instinct, so they feel an obligation to care for someone who is in pain or needs help.
The second behavior or perspective that we're going to talk about is the behavioral perspective. Now, this perspective focuses on learning and observing, and this is how you kind of form your behavior. So kids who have parents who are more do-good and volunteer or donate are more likely to do prosocial behavior because they've seen it their whole lives. Now, there's also the feel-good, do-good phenomenon, which is when you're having a better day or when you're in a better mood, you are more likely to donate or volunteer money, which is how this perspective works with the prosocial behavior.
Okay, so the final perspective is the humanistic perspective, and so some of the motivations for prosocial behavior that go along with this are altruism, which is just kind of the idea that people do good things just out of the goodness in their hearts and not for any other reasons. And that also goes along with selflessness, which is acting with other people's interests in mind instead of just doing what's best for them. And then the final thing that ties into it is the concept of empathy, which is that if you're able to connect to other people and understand how they're feeling, you're going to be a lot more likely to reach out and help them.
So I'm sure you have heard of the show What Would You Do? If not, the show is about producer and host. He puts up a situation with actors in order to see how people would react.
So this first video that we're playing is you're going to see an actor who is a transgender woman in a boutique, and then the other actor is the woman who's working in it. So here's the video.
Can I help you with something? Oh, I didn't realize you're...
What? Is this 40% off?
Yes, one item is 40% off.
Okay.
But I'm not selling that item to you.
I'm sorry?
I didn't realize you were a man.
And right away, these women find those comments an uncomfortable fit.
What are you saying?
She's gonna ruin the dress.
You're horrible. What a horrible human being you are to say that to someone. I'm sorry, and I'm really sorry this happened to you.
You're okay with this?
Not only am I okay with it, I would support anybody who wants to be who she is. So yes, you're really hurting her soul. This is who she is. Let her be who she is.
Let her whisper, but she's a man.
He is a man.
If she believes and feels out as a woman, she has every right to call herself that. You seem to have no understanding whatsoever about these gender issues. Maybe you should learn something.
How are you? It's What Would You Do?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God, okay. I think that these days, people are changing all over, slowly. But I think when people start to become friends with somebody who's transgender, or know somebody or have a family member, I think if anybody has ever felt any discrimination in any way, then they learn that, hey, you know, that could be me.
Now that we've watched the video, you could tell that the woman who stepped forward and stuck up for this woman who's trying to buy the dress was saying that like she has family members, or if you have friends who see this, like she used this as the behavioral perspective. She's learned how to be okay with a woman who is transgender, and therefore that is why she stuck up for this woman in the store. Now the next video we watched, here's the next video.
Sir, I need you to leave.
This woman is uncomfortable with both the transgender shopper and the worker's handling of the situation. Her advice, get Jennifer out of the store.
Just want him to leave. Threaten him?
Yeah, maybe if you say we're going to call the police.
If I said I was going to call the police?
Don't leave. That would work.
This video, as you can see, and it shows a woman who was uncomfortable with the situation she was in, and in that way she didn't stick up for the woman. Instead, she did an antisocial behavior, which was she told the woman at the store, call the police and maybe that'll get her out this way. And in this, it's almost like for her this was a pro-social behavior because she was using the humanistic perspective and making herself less uncomfortable in order to put herself back into a more comfortable position by saying just get her out of the store, try and get her out of the store. Now this last video we're going to watch is again in the same situation, and instead this woman does again do a pro-social behavior.
This customer stays focused on Jennifer's goal, to buy that new dress.
I'm sorry. And can I help you? I just don't know what to do. Thank you.
Before she buys that dress for Jennifer,
This is yours?
we step in.
You offered to buy her dress? Why?
I don't know. I'm not sure I would do that on any other day. I just felt compelled to do it.
After seeing this video, you could see that the woman went and bought this lady's dress. And in this she said, I'm not really sure why I did it, but I did. Now this can go along with the biological perspective. It was almost like an innate reaction for her to just help this woman and buy the dress.
The next situation and the next videos are about a homeless man, and this homeless man is being made to bark like a dog and do degrading things in order to get the money, and 3 teenagers are doing these acts to the homeless man, and all 4 of them are actors. So this is the first video.
Come on, you got it.
Come on, you got it. Do you want to earn the money?
I just want to get something
you have to earn it.
These women look bothered by what they're seeing.
Repeat after me. I'm a loser.
I'm a loser.
And I can't get a job.
And I can't get a job.
They start to walk away until they hear this.
Now get on your knees and bark like a dog. Come on, bark.
Louder.
And with that, they march right over to confront our obnoxious teens.
I'll give you the $10, but you have to keep on barking.
Woof, woof.
Stop that right now.
Stop that. That's disgusting. He's a poor guy.
But he asked for money.
So give him the money.
Don't make him bark like a dog. It's not against the law. We can do what we want.
The dog is harassing. He's not an animal. I'm going to film you doing that, and it'll be on the news.
But come on, we don't need it.
You won't get into college because I'm going to make sure that every college sees that video of you making someone bark like a dog.
We're just having some fun.
It's not fun.
Despite her charged emotions for the teens, she still gives to a man in need.
Bark like a dog.
Hi, ma'am. They're actors. He's okay.
I don't care, but those children were making No, it's a show. It's a show.
What drove you to do that?
It actually made me think I don't want my children, God forbid my children were to ever
Doing something like that.
What do you want them to know about this sort of thing?
To not ever let them kick someone when they're down and to not make a mockery of them. The hardest thing is getting up from when you're already down.
In this video, you can see how these 2 women stepped up and said, I wouldn't want my kids doing what these teenagers are doing. So it shows the humanistic perspective and empathy and for why they did this pro-social behavior. This next video is the same situation, except the teenagers are asking people to take pictures with him.
Pretty impressive.
Okay, let's take a selfie.
But what will others do?
Hey, excuse me?
When asked to take a picture.
Can you take a picture of us?
We can put this on my Instagram. This guy's homeless.
This is so funny.
Out of curiosity, I hope you don't think this is funny. It really is homeless, by the way.
No, it is funny.
I would take a picture. I'll take a picture.
Why?
This is funny because that's a grown man.
So pathetic.
This man thinks twice as well.
Just take a picture. We're gonna post it online. I think so. You guys get somebody else. You're gonna make fun of homeless people. Why take a picture of him? Well, he's begging for money. We're gonna post it on Snapchat.
This young guy does take that shot.
You gotta hug him.
No, he stinks. I don't want to hug him.
Don't be a bully. Take a drink.
This is so gross.
They had to take a bunch of pictures.
But as he walks away, he has some parting words.
You stink.
You gotta give him a hug.
Thanks for the picture.
Thank you. Get up. Just do a little dance.
As you can see in the video, the young man conforms, I think, due to peer pressure. So when you're a teenager and you have situations where other teenagers are pressuring you to do something or asking you, you're more likely to conform, which is the behavioral perspective. And this explains why he did it. And at the end, you can see how he said, just give him the money, just give him the money. It shows how him taking the picture really is conforming because he really didn't want to do it. So why is it important?
So prosocial behavior is important because it's how it shapes our society. If there are more people doing pro-social things rather than anti-social things, the society as a whole is going to be better. And because this year in psych we focused a lot on anti-social behavior, we wanted to talk more about the pro-social behavior and what people do good.
Yeah, and we live in a capitalist society where a lot of times you hear things like, it's every man for himself. And so we really wanted to look into the motivations and why people would go against that and actually do good.
And we also want to have more people do better things. So giving this information and doing this project will help people analyze why they're really doing the things that they're doing and just kind of motivate them to do good things. Thank you.